This is the Dorcen Domy X7, and since it's highly unlikely that you've ever heard of Dorcen, Domy or the X7, let me take you through a short history lesson. The car you see here started its life out in 2016 as a Zotye and formed part of the brand's Domy model series. 2 years later, Zotye sold the model and the design to another Chinese automaker called Dorcen, whom took it and built the G70S. But in a nutshell, that's how we've ended up with the Dorcen Domy X7. Now that we've got that out of the way, let's take a closer look at what this Chinese SUV has to offer. In typical Chinese automotive fashion, the Domy X7 is a mashup of one too many cars with a strong Volkswagen influence. Bearing great resemblance to the Volkswagen Tiguan, the Domy X7 is a good-looking car with LED headlights and 19-inch alloy wheels. But I just wish the designers had spent a little more time giving it an identity of its own. In the back, the steeply rigged windscreen and high tail lamps give the Domy X7 a hunchback that is unsurprisingly very similar to the Volkswagen Terramont X. As mentioned earlier, there are elements from many cars that have been put together, but what's important is that it all looks quite nice in the end. The Volkswagen influence seems to have rubbed off on the interior too, with the overall design being very similar to that of the Volkswagen Terramont. Large pieces of aluminium trim and soft leather cover the dashboard and door panels, giving the impression of a vehicle that's premium but also well built. Speaking of things that seem to be borrowed, there's the Range Rover shifter knob that lifts out of the center console every time the car is switched on, and a steering wheel that is very similar in design to what you'd find in a Porsche. The steering does offer tilt, but unfortunately no telescopic adjustment, meaning you cannot bring it closer or move it further away from you. The seats in the back are very comfortable, just like those in the front, and offer plenty of headroom and legroom, meaning fitting 3 adults is no problem at all. What is likely to be a problem, however, is the single rear AC vent. Yes, for some very weird reason, Dorcen has decided to fit just one AC vent in the back. To explain the features on the Domy X7, I'm going to break this segment up into 2 parts. Features the Domy X7 has that all other cars have, and features the Domy X7 has that no other car has. A few notable features are a panoramic roof, cruise control, a 7-inch digital display in the instrument cluster, soft closing doors, and blind spot monitoring. Now that we've got that out of the way, let's talk about the more interesting features. Features the Domy has that no other car out there seems to offer. First up is a PM 2.5 monitor. For those of you wondering what that is, it's a pollution monitor that shows you the level of pollution both inside and outside the vehicle. Handy, right? Next up is an e-book reader. Apart from the obvious safety concerns related to reading an e-book while driving, an e-book reader is a great feature to have. Imagine having to wait 30 minutes for that not-so-punctual friend of yours. Now, instead of fidgeting on your phone, you can relax and read a book too. The third amazing feature, and trust me, this is something all manufacturers should adopt, is a child lock mechanism controlled through a button on the center console. Now when you have guests, you don't need to get out of your seat, walk to the other side of the vehicle, and use your key to remove the child lock mechanism. Powering the Domy X7 is a 2-liter turbocharged Mitsubishi engine that pushes 190 horsepower and 250 Nm of torque through a 6-speed automatic transmission to the front wheels. To drive at city speeds, the X7 is very comfortable and easy to navigate because of its light steering and great outward visibility. Put it into sport mode and the gearbox gets all flustered, not knowing whether to upshift or downshift. But I wouldn't hold that against it because it really isn't a car that's meant to be driven fast. It also isn't a car that's meant to be driven off-road, and you can't because it's front-wheel drive, but for some weird reason it does come fitted with hill descent control. My one and only gripe with regards to the way this car drives are the brakes. Don't get me wrong, they work perfectly well and bring the car to a stop very smoothly, but they do squeak. Who knows, maybe this car was abused by a bunch of drivers before being given to us, but hearing the brakes squeak when the car has just 5,000 kilometers on it is never a comforting sound. So here we are at the end of this review, and I know the only question on your mind is how much does the Domy X7 cost? Without any promotions or discounts, it costs 93,000 dirhams, which is a lot. But because of an ongoing promotion, you can drive one home for just 62,800. So, at 62,800, is it better than its Japanese and Korean rivals? Yes, because it has a lot more to offer. In fact, you could even argue it's better than its Chinese rivals from MG and Haval because it offers a 12-year, 500,000 kilometer warranty, and that's something nobody else does. Thanks for watching.